I like having fun with people who overstand life. If you don't overstand life, don't come around me, because life is not something to destroy. Life is something to care about. Care about life. When you're there around people, you can't make an next person sad all the time, and that's the good. You come around somebody, have fun. You laugh, you enjoy yourself, you know what I mean? You speak about good things, not negative things, not think about people. You don't want to know people business. You think about things to uplift you and uplift our next person at the same time, you know what I mean?
So now you're not teaching church, they tricky people. Your body is a temple of God. But the head of the church is Jesus. Not your head now. The temple head of God is your head. Yeah, they don't like to teach people that God is yourself. You notice that?
Bob, keep on talking to the people. They might never hear your voice again. Keep on talking to them for a little while until you're cool, man.
Well, it's to the people have a voice inside of them that talk to them, you know. That is the voice that these people must listen to. Because in everything you're going to do, there's a wrong way and a right way. And if you listen good, you will know the right way.
True.
You know? Because there is a voice inside talking to everyone.
We're going to talk about something a little bit morbid. I wouldn't say morbid. It's just people don't like talking about the topic of death because they get anxious around that idea. But I think we should embrace what is naturally going to happen, right? It's natural. We should understand that there is an end to this experience. Before I start this video, I want to read a passage out of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Oh now, when the birthplace Bardo upon me is dawning, abandoning idleness, there being no idleness in a devotee's life, entering into the reality undistractedly, listening, reflecting, and meditating, carrying on the path, knowledge of the true nature of appearance and of mind. Once that human form hath been attained, may there be no time or opportunity in which to idle it or human life away. May the consciousness undistractedly be kept in its natural state, grasping the true nature of dreams. May I train myself in the clear light of miraculous transformation, acting not like the brutes in slothfulness. May the blending of the practicing of the sleep state and actual or waking experience be highly valued by me. Fire quotes, bro. But in today's video, we are going to be reacting to near-death experiences. My fascination with the topic is not that I hate my life or anything like that. My fascination with the topic is that I think death is not really the end, right? I was led to believe so many other perspectives, but I've come to this newfound awareness that death is only an illusion. Although I've never had a near-death experience, I can use the other people who claim they've had one to fill in the blanks of my imagination. Fill in the plot holes, see if the story corroborates with each other. You know what I mean? Like, look at the lore behind what's going on behind the scenes, right? If there is a behind the scenes, because that's still up for speculation, right? We're all alive, so we can't really tell what happens when we die. In the meantime, let's investigate. All right, video title, Life After Self-Deletion, a Message for Humanity, Near-Death Experience. All right, let's hear this.
My name is Chris Batts. I am from the Antelope Valley, a couple hours south of Los Angeles, California. From what my grandma told me when I was 5, she said my dad left and he didn't really want a kid. So my mom gave birth to me. She didn't want a kid after 6 months. I guess she was on her way to a modeling career, from what my grandma tells me. And this modeling career sort of got paused because she got pregnant. So she went through, she had the baby. I don't know if it was postpartum depression or whatever it is after a woman has a kid. When I was 6 months old, she threw me in a dumpster, in a local neighborhood dumpster across the street, and left. So I guess she could do her own thing. A neighbor came out and was taking out their trash, and they hear a baby crying. So they picked me up and was like, oh my God, I know this kid.
That is insane, bro. You see how certain people, they're born in different predicaments. I'm telling you, it's good to hear different perspectives of lives so that you understand how lucky and fortunate you have it. You know, sometimes you might be going through your own BS, but you know, I heard this quote, if everybody got like into a circle and threw all their problems into like a potluck and you saw the problems of other people, you would like gladly go up and take your problems back. You really don't know what people have been dealt with. So this story already sounds like it's gonna get crazy.
Grandson right here, and I'm not letting him go anywhere until you get here. So my grandma had me from that time at 6 months all the way till I was about 3.5 or 4. My grandma had a nervous breakdown. She was in the hospital for a year. So within this time, I was a few places in between. Then I ended up staying with the sister that my mom hates the absolute most. So you can pretty much guess this was a very horrible household. They treated me like horribly. Sort of ironic because we went to church every Sunday and sometimes Wednesdays and during the week, and they were like so holy, but they would nitpick their Bible verses. And there's one that they said the Bible says, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So in that sense, they took that as, okay, we have full access permission to beat your ass whenever we want, because that means we'll go to heaven.
You see how people use religion as a means to power, right? To exert their power, their lack of character and stuff like that, because, you know, people like to control people and they get a sadistic twist from it. They get an emotional rush from it. So they're like, oh, yes, I love... You know, there was an experiment as well. Yeah, I learned a lot of things on the internet. They did an experiment on like prisoners and guards, and they gave the guards like, it was like regular people, and they gave the guards power over the prisoners, and they said, oh, you could do what you want with the prisoners, and they started making up all types of rules. It started getting so psychologically sadistic, like the way how the guards were treating the prisoners. They started doing unnecessary torture to them. And it's like they started getting a twist from it. I'm like, wow, yeah, power really corrupts. Then, you know, people will use all these amenities of life, like all the images, right? They would don an image like a chameleon and say, oh, I'm this and I'm that, while just using it to gain power.
There's times I had a bunch of marks and bruises and stuff, and I would get asked by my teachers, like, are you in trouble at home? I was so scared at home, I would say no, because I thought if I said that and I get home, I would get more. Was I afraid of God? Hell yeah. I was terrified of God, this God in the sky that's like, I'm gonna kill you and you're gonna burn and you're gonna like be tortured for life. Your soul is not gonna get any rest. And we're going to this church every week. With my home life and my thoughts on religion, I was just pretty all messed up already. I felt like I had nothing. I said I'm gonna make the decision to raise myself because there's no one else here that can do it for me. I had to literally like start teaching myself life by just strictly observing and experience.
That is the best way to do it, through direct experience, just observing life and just coming to know the patterns so that you can better work on your process. That's the best way to do it. Don't follow the fools, because this world is the blind leading the blind. I'm telling you, a lot of people are just for the image, a lot of narcissists, a lot of, you know, so you have to really understand the laws of the universe. But this guy, I'm telling you, he looked like he made it through. Well, let's listen through.
To me, I was already an adult at the age of like 15. I was like, oh, I'm ready for life. You don't got to tell me anything. I would stay out however late I wanted, come back whenever I wanted. Then you start getting behind in school. I was sitting at graduation in the bleachers because I didn't graduate. After high school, your friends start progressing in life. You're not. They have people to help them progress and give them just that little boost. You don't. When they gained their first houses, their first apartments, their first cars and all that, I'm going to the county building trying to get $200 in a month on the bus, no change, you know, so I'm embarrassed enough to tell people I need help. I'm embarrassed to tell people that I'm on the bus. Embarrassed led to that depression that I had as a kid. I was so depressed, I got numb. I tried all the pills I could. I would drink every day.
And that's one of the main things that people result to when there's a lack of love in one's life, right? Where it's like, you feel like there's nobody you could turn to. It's just you and the world, you and the world of strangers. There's nobody here that really cares, you know? And then you turn to sensations that give you a feeling of, yes, I feel something now. I feel like I'm loved because this feeling is pleasant and the world is cold. You see, like I made a video about this as well. Like the world feels cold when we come out the womb of our mother, and we always yearn for that warmth. Let's keep diving into this story because it's getting more interesting. He sounds like a soldier. He sounds like a Spartan. He's been through a lot.
Got bored of that. Okay, let me go back to the drinking. Nope, got bored of that. So I was like, I tried different stuff, and I guess like I never really had the addictive personality. I just got bored of things and I wanted to do something else. Mind you, my life is just, I have nobody I can count on in my family. Friends are moved on. I'm too embarrassed to tell them I need help. Family I know don't want you to do anything in your life. So it's like, I'm gonna get out of here. I went to the train station and timed every train that passed. I just stayed there watching it pass by, looking at the time. So I know, okay, I'm gonna choose this time and this day to jump in front of a train. And whatever happens, happens, I don't care. What could be worse than being here right now?
Now, I would advise anybody who is thinking about self-deletion, please think thoroughly. This is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because it's never the answer. It's never the answer, right? It's never the answer. It sounds like this guy gave up all hope. He's been defeated. And now he feels like he needs to escape this life. We're rooting for him because he's still here, right? He's here to tell the story. So there's a happy outcome.
I was arguing with one of my friends, and this was one of the only friends that knew what I was going through. So they kind of knew I had an idea when I left. Oh shit, he's gonna do it. So they somehow, I'm sure, followed me. I was about 10, 15 feet away from that railroad track when I heard the honk. And I'm like, damn, there goes my plan. Now I gotta come up with something completely different now. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, she came to save me. And I was like, you fucked up my plan. So I get in the car. Mind you, out of all this time, my mom calls me. And I'm like, what the hell? How, like, what a time for her to call me now when I'm literally about to kill myself. And I haven't talked to my mom in years. I don't know how long it's been. I'm thinking maybe she's calling to apologize. This could change my whole entire outlet on everything. She says, your grandma said that you were looking for me, because I asked her, how did you get my number? She said, your grandma gave me your number and said you were asking about me, and I called you to tell you that I don't want you. You're not my son, and hung up. So I said, okay. I looked at my phone and said, you never were. Rolled down the window, tossed the phone out. All I know is they just made a right turn and they kept going.
Oh man, that is like, I'm telling you, bro, like people are disgusting. That is just, you know, valuing the image model, right? She's a model. I'm not saying all models are like this, but you know, like model, image, it's all about imagery, right? That's a world of imagery. But abandoning your son, just to call him to say that, just be like, yo, you're not my son. Stop bothering me. I have a modeling career. Like, what? Think about the type of psychology that type of person has. You birth a person and just throw them away and just like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Not even just like give them up for adoption, like on an early type of thing so that they can find their way through the system and not know you, be disconnected from the whole drama process, right? You throw them in the dumpster and like, just like You throw them in your neighbor's dumpster at that, and it's like, yo, these people, man. There's people on this planet that is just unbelievable. They're incredible, man. They are incredulous. I don't even know if that was a word, but that's what these people are, man.
In the driver's seat, and I just mumbled under my breath, this. I opened the door, jumped out, boom. Head hits the concrete. I'm like, I think this hurts, because I wasn't sure if it hurt. And I was like, oh, let me just go home. And then it was hard to get up, and something's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Something keeps telling me that, so I keep trying to get up and try to like pull myself as hard. So I use like all my force to just pull myself up, and it was like this suction feeling like going right out. And I look down and see a body laying right there, and I'm like, that's my body? I'm like, nah, that's my mind messing with me. I'm just gonna go home now. I took about 3 steps. Everything was just different colors, slow motion. Next thing you know, I'm like, how the could this happen? And I just get this feeling right here from the most dominant force you'll ever feel in your life. I knew it was God because you just know it was that strong. I could compare it to being hit by lightning every time, just constantly. After every sentence, it was after every statement, just pew, pew, pew. And I had a bunch of questions in my head, and just in the order the questions were in my head, they were answered. I was thinking, who are you? So it was like, let me reintroduce myself. I am God. Yes, I am real. I just see like this projector screen like comes up. You see a lady walking, like a prostitute. She's walking by. He's like, I love her. Then you see this guy with a suit and a briefcase. He's like, just straight edge. He's like, I love him. And then you see this guy on a skateboard with a joint. And God's like, I love him. What I took from that was he wanted me to know you think you're not good enough, but you are. Because I love everybody.
Life is a movie. We're all just acting. See what I'm saying, man? It's all an act for God. And people have fallen from the grace in their minds when they conform to the ways of the world, telling them that they're not good enough. See what I'm saying, man? This is not woo-woo philosophy. This is reality. And the world is trying to push you away from this reality. Wake up, man. Wake up, wake up.
Then he says, I will go to the end of the world so that everyone is with me. I was like, oh, he'll literally will go to the end of the earth for us, just so we can be with him because he loves us like that. I said, what am I supposed to do when I go back to earth so people don't think I'm crazy? And he says, go and tell everyone that I love them. I didn't see him at all. I just felt him. He gets on a knee and then gives me a hug. The hug was very like tight and safe, and I did not want to let go. So the first meeting with like Source was, oh my God, I don't deserve to be here. Get me out of here. I'm not perfect. Let me go get perfect. It went from that to, don't let me go from this hug. I felt cared for, and I wasn't used to that. I definitely was not used to being someone caring about me. Like what? Not like genuinely, unconditionally.
This is why I talk about love, living on valued energy, being authentic, as true as possible, because there's hurt people in this world that's been through all of these experiences with people. They're traumatized. Like that isn't a traumatizing experience. Imagine your mom throwing you in a dumpster and then a stranger follow. Like that is crazy, man. That is traumatizing. Of course, like you would have this type of outlook on life that, yo, man, why am I here? Like why exist? You know, this guy, he's been through a lot.
Male was like the most macho male, but that hug and his caring was way more than woman, like way more than a woman. So it's like kind of both and all in one. So that's why I just kind of say Source. I don't really call him or her, or I just say it. So now here's the actual part where I'm in the air. I see the clouds, a bunch of angels flying everywhere. And then there was 2 particular ones I just recognized, like I just knew them. It seemed like they were familiar and like I knew them all my life. These angels I'm actually looking at, like I didn't see God, but I'm actually seeing these angels. I see everything around me, just like I'm looking at you right now. The one on my left, I mean, I look at him, it's like this beetle kind of face. I didn't really get the best look at his face because there was so much light shining down from it. It was like looking at the sun. Then I look to the right. This one is more human than anything. Human face, curly brown hair, blue jeans, brown sandals with a red flannel shirt, and the sleeves are like rolled up to his elbows. I know a lot of people like to compare it to the Brawny Man. I kind of compare it to, if people that know Roseanne, Dan Connor. Here's who he reminded me of, was Dan Connor. So he says, you have so much to do for so many people. And I was like, I do? They're like, look down. So I look down. I see my body laying there. I see the friend I was with. I see the ambulances. I just felt this big urgency to go back to Earth. The one on my left side, he was like frustrated, like in a stern voice. Are you sure you want to go? But I guess he wasn't mad at me. He was upset at what happened to me in life. This was my chance to say, hell no, I'm out of here. I'm not going back there. But for some reason, I felt this huge, like, I guess responsibility or urge, this huge urge to go back. When I said, okay, I'll go back, it was like the blink of an eye. I wake up 2 days later in the hospital. Well, I just remember them calling me Miracle and saying that we thought you were dead. We didn't think you were coming back. They said I hemorrhaged, I don't know how many times. And they said there was nothing. I was gone. The day I was actually released from the hospital, I was being wheelchaired out to the car. So I couldn't walk, couldn't talk, I didn't have senses, all that stuff was gone. And I looked up at the sky and I seen the mountain, I seen the clear sky, there's the sun, the horizon, everything was just like perfect, but it looked different. I knew there was something out there that's good, and the God that was loving and caring and doesn't judge us, that's when I knew that God actually is the real God. I just knew I have to find out the truth. So I started going through all types of stuff on Google, like the truth about religion, the truth about the Bible, the books that didn't make it in the Bible. I wanted to know a bunch of stuff. Why didn't these books make it in the Bible? I want to read them.
That's what happens. Wisdom starts a hook inside people. When you start seeing that there's a bigger picture to things, it's like, wait, hold on here. The narrative that I've been told before that's been keeping me in a mental cage hasn't been the right one the whole time. There's something deeper going on. Wait, there's a deeper plot here, and I need to search. I need to dig. I need to 39 clues this. I need to like figure this out.
Help you. I was too pretty much embarrassed to even speak out on it, which the average suicidal person won't. And that's when they're gonna do something, because they're not talking about it. I say there's someone out there that does care. Don't be embarrassed. One thing I always say, the situation you might have in life, if you change your thought, you could change your life. Change the way you feel about yourself, and then see what happens after that. I think the purpose of life is to experience, to better our souls, to make mistakes at a certain time, and then by the time you move on and progress to your next life goal, your next soul journey, you'll take mistakes that you learned from the life you lived. Your soul will be better.